So that's why I'm asking, what were they thinking of in inviting journalism, media?
Yeah,
from
it's
a
strange
Western university
tension, eh?
when actually there is such tight control of their own media.
Okay,
So
because
those-
I think in many cases, as with the Emirates, this is coming from caboose.
Yeah.
This is coming from the top. See, what you tend to get is, okay, how do I put, okay, let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was involved in designing a program for newsroom managers for Emirates Media, okay? And what you had was the leadership at the top, okay, which for the media was like Sheikh Abdullah. And then you had, you know, the senior managers, and then you had the middle managers, and then you had the young guns at the bottom who'd all been to UAEU or been to HCT or got their master's degrees. And Sultan Qaboos is saying, right, free everything up, open everything up, don't censor the internet, let's do this, you know, I give you my blessings to do this. And the young guys down here are going, yes, let's go and do this. And you get this bunch of people in the middle going, oh, that might upset my friend. No, burn that story, bury that, no. Because they've been used to a rigid hierarchy where, you know, they've been in charge, change is bad, mentally they're still terrified of upsetting a member of the royal family, okay. You know, in the old days they used to hang editors out of helicopters to make them see sense. So you've got the leadership at the top yelling and exhorting and dragging, and the people underneath pushing, and it's like a blockage, a dense, thick, immovable blockage that can only be got rid of by, I don't know, Drano or something. But this is the problem I saw it in the Emirates in the first year when I was there, when Zayed was dying and everything had ground to a halt. I saw this in Oman. I don't think Qaboos is long for this world. And there's just this kind of sense of we're not going to move, we won't risk anything. And so you get really ticked off people down the bottom, and people at the top trying to yank and yell and exhort, and these people in the middle going, no, I'm not going to. And that's, I think, you know, the situation I see in the Gulf is that, in fact, in many cases, the leaders are actually fairly enlightened. And they want to drag the country kicking and screaming, and the kids underneath want to change. But it's that big lump in the middle that is either too scared or too set in their ways, or it's quite frankly, you know, making a killing and they don't want to be moved or released or moved on. And that's the kind of dynamic. I mean, you know, a lot of my colleagues used to say that, well, we should be teaching them developmental journalism. Okay, a lot of my Indian colleagues used to say that. And I'm kind of, you know, I'm with that in a way. But that's too easily subverted to, you know, Majesty Sultan Qaboos said yesterday, blah, 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 which is what you get all the bloody time anyway. And I do think that maybe in the long run, you do need to be at least making them aware of Western ideas about journalism. Look, they're never going to be Western. It's never going to be a Western-style journalism. You know, you can get this from simple things like, okay, a court report, which will be, you know, AH and BK, two Pakistanis, pleaded guilty to the heinous crime, blah, 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 after the police hit them a lot. You know, the court case will be heard tomorrow. And it's to say to them, you know, at least we could have names of people in court cases. Oh my God, this would cause shame to our families. You know, and then you'd say, so why do you say they're Pakistanis? Oh, well, sir, you know, honestly. We need to know which nationalities are causing all the trouble. You're thinking, okay, we have some work to do here. You know, they don't want Western-style journalism as we know it. They want some of it. They want to pick this and this and this, but they don't want all of it. But if you don't make at least a smorgasbord available, they won't pick anything. It's just how it's presented and how it's done, I think, is the trick that's been missed to a certain degree. the British know the
Well,
Gulf
British
backwards.
played the game quite well, because
Of
one of
course.
the tricks they learned from the British, but it's an incredibly complex.
Yes, it is.
It's like nothing that we
Yeah.
know, you know, that's driving these people. Yeah, I think it's quite hard for us to understand the complexity.
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, I got to 7,500 words with this, but I think I'll be 20 by the time I finish trying to cover everything. So, you were...
Just interested, how did all those things go wrong? You must have known parts of it before you went there. I'm just interested, what made you go?
Oh, Oman. I'd always wanted to go to Oman. There were particular reasons I went to Oman. One of them being that it was better than the job I was offered in China. And it meant I was next door to the Emirates. Oman is... If you were going to go to the Middle East for a holiday, I'd say ignore Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They're big plastic soups full of junk. Go to Muscat, go down to Salalah, go into the mountains, and you'll see the real Arabian life, the real culture. Oman is a fabulous country. Stories about Oman, yeah. You know, my sister used to work in Oman, and I had heard. My sister used to come over from Oman to us in Abu Dhabi, you know, about once a month, and just scream. And I didn't believe her. I thought she was exaggerating how wrong I was. Look, it's a situation where...
Did you think you
Did I think...
honestly could do something there?
Oh, we all could have. No, we all... Anybody I worked with, okay, that lovely bunch of people I showed you, any one of them could have rewritten the curriculum and made it better.
At the right level, even.
But you've got to understand that you're hired, therefore you're a servant, therefore your opinion is worthless at a certain level, okay? There's a lot of, you know, initiative is not rewarded. New ideas are not rewarded. And the notion that a bunch of teachers are going to stand up and say, this scheme which Her Excellency the Minister has said will work is not working and needs to be changed? No, 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 no. Never happen. The course will be allowed to drive itself into the sand, and then it will emerge totally rewritten in a different form. But magically it will be the same course and everything will be perfect.
That's a knowledge you gained over the last year.
That's
what
just
you
the
knew
way
before you
things
went there.
work.
That's how
It's pretty much the way things work. Okay, it's just that it's you know about the Temkin villages? Okay. A New Zealand friend of mine who taught at Niswa said that what they wanted in Oman in the college system was not education but the appearance of education. Okay, so in some respects, you know, what we were doing was like a Potemkin village. You know, the Sultan would go by and he'll be going, God bless the Tsar. Everything's perfect, but in fact it wasn't. But look, you're involving matters of face, of family loyalties, tribal loyalties, what you committed to, how you survive 5 years down the track. It's all behind it. Now, I was utterly unaware of, in certain respects here, I was totally unaware of what I was getting myself into. I should have been warned during the interview with the Dean, who said, but why do you want to come to Niswa? All our students are stupid.
It just interested if you really thought you might make a difference there, or you could do a difference.
Yes, this could possibly be why when I saw the ad for Unitec, I applied.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, I thought it might be too cheeky.
Philip, do you envisage there will be a change when the current generation of learners moves?
Okay, what's going to happen
With
is for
age.
Sultan Qaboos to die.
Yeah. But there'll be somebody else with the same imposition?
No, you could have full-blown civil war.
Yeah, often in the societies, leadership is personified, in some aspiring person when they die,
I mean, it could be like the Emirates, he was sick for a long time, and then one day there was a full-colour picture in the paper of the new cabinet.
Yeah.
And we all said, oh, they're going to build a life support system tonight.
Yeah.
And they did.
They did, yeah.
And now maybe that will happen in Oman. Caboose will die, but before then... I mean, the man's got no family, no children. There's the odd court favourite or cousin, but nobody knows. And, we had students who would still tell you that, when he goes, we'll have the imamate back, And down in the south, the old fisherman down in Salalah will tell you that, when he goes, except they won't in the south because the British will crush them like they did the last time.
Yeah, but you just mentioned about these 11 million, under 25, people.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
How long,
people
yeah.
are bubbling, and they're part of the global world. So who knows what is going to
Yeah,
happen.
but a lot of them, remember, are going to be in Saudi. I mean, the scary thing is, in Saudi, it's going to be really interesting because, you're getting... Okay, one of the things I probably should have mentioned was, the number of girls who go to university exceeds that of boys. Okay, girls stay at school and go to university. Boys don't. Okay, because boys can go off and join the army, at least in the Emirates, or they can go back on the farm or go and fish or do whatever they want to. It's the young women who stay because it offers them freedom and education. The boys are under all kinds of pressures we can't even begin to envisage. They're under pressures of westernisation. They're under pressures to change the way they live. They're under pressures to adopt, in some cases, different forms of Islam. They're under pressures to have to cope with watching their sisters having freedoms their mothers never had. And, they're faced with television, the internet. These kids are immensely internet savvy. They really are. They're powerful, they're energetic, they're bored out of their brains a lot of the time. And, then you get situations where you've got, say, a lot of these young kids where a lot of the young men, the options are either prostitutes and alcohol or drugs, with which the Emirates is knee-deep. Or in Saudi, some mad Wahhabi bastard telling them that they'll get to heaven quickly if they go and kill a lot of people. Which you'll get. I mean, there's a lot of Al-Qaeda activity on the Gulf, and it is homegrown. It's not people coming back from Afghanistan. There's a lot of nasty stuff that goes on just in the Gulf itself. I'm talking about homegrown cells of disaffected people. Now, mainly in Saudi, because they're probably the most utterly hypocritical society, but they're going to be facing tremendous challenges. And their population is out of control, and they are totally dependent on on expatriate labour. I've said this to other people. Two of my students at Zayed, who came from enormously wealthy families, my biggest contribution to their life was persuading them that they could make coffee for themselves. No, I'm not joking. I had to persuade them that they didn't have to go to Starbucks before coming to class, which is why they were late, that they could go to the kitchen and boil water and make it themselves. And they came back to class absolutely chuffed because they'd made coffee for themselves that morning. And it was like one tiny prod in the direction that you can be self-sufficient, because they've made themselves slaves to the rest of the planet in that sense.
Thank you very much, Billy.
No worries, I'm sorry.
I can see why you have a hard time finishing the